Welcome back, Crammers, to question 1. Here are 4 cards. Each card has a number on it. The 4 cards are arranged to make the number 5,763. Arrange the 4 cards to make the smallest possible number. So that means we start with the smallest integer first, which is 3, then 5, then 6, and then 7. Arrange the 4 cards to make the largest possible even number. So we start with the largest number, which is 7. And we're left with 5, 6, and 3. To make it even, the last digit has to be an even number, and that is 6. So we can simply put 6 here. Now that we're left with 5 and 3, we put the largest one first. So we have 5, and then we have 3. Arrange 2 cards to make a prime number. A prime number can only be divided by itself and 1. And here I can see we have 3. And we have 7. This cannot be divided by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It can only be divided by 37 and 1. Arrange 2 cards to make a multiple of 8. I can see we have 5, we have 6, and we know that 56 is a multiple of 8. Question 2. The pictogram shows information about the total weight of potatoes grown last year in each of 5 countries, the key being one circle is equivalent to 4 million tons of potatoes. The pictogram shows one country where the total weight of potatoes grown last year was 20 million. Which country? So we can simply divide 20 million by the key. So that's 20 divided by 4 is equal to 5. So we're supposed to look for a country which has 5 circles, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. USA. Last year, the weight of potatoes grown in the Netherlands was 6 million. Show this information in the pictogram. The key being 4 million again, so we can divide this by 4. We get 1.5. So we have to write 1.5 circles. So here we have 1 and a half. Work out the total weight of potatoes grown in Germany and in France. So that means we have to add them. We can see that the key represents 4 million and there are actually 4 different sectors here. So we can simply count how many sectors, given that one sector is equivalent to 1 million tons. So we can see here for France, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And for Germany, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 7 plus 11 is 18, so here we have 18 million tons. Question 3, here is a number scale. On the scale, mark with an arrow the number 554. We can see that we have 550 and 540, so we can find the difference between each indentation as 550 minus 540 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different indentations. We divide this by 5. That means each indentation is equal to 2. So we can see here the number 554 is simply 540. We move this, so this is 2, that's 542. And plus 2, that's 544. So that means it is right here. Here is a different number scale. Write down the number shown marked by the arrow. Again, we can find the difference. We have 3,000 minus 2,000 divided by how many indentations there are, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 divided by 4. That means each indentation is given as 250. So we can simply find this as an indentation is 250. So this simply means 3,000 plus 250 is equivalent to 3,250. Question 4. In the space below, draw a line of 6.5 centimeters. Make sure you use your ruler here, and we can see that this is given as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. Moving on. The diagram shows the straight lines QP and QR. Measure the size of the angle PQR. Using your protractor here, you can find the answer to be 44 degrees. Question 5. The table gives information about the cost of sending parcels of different weights Beanie has a parcel of 1.3 kg and another parcel of 8 kg to send to two different places. Work out the total cost of sending these two parcels. So we can see that we're given the weight of the first parcel as 1.3. We have to find a range that fits 1.3, and that is 1:2. So we can put here 9.02. And for the second one, we have to find a range which 8 fits into, and that is W is greater than 5 and less than equal to 10. So we can also put here 21.9. When we combine these, we get 30.92 pounds. 30.92 pounds. Griffin sends 3 parcels each to different places. One of the parcels has a weight of 1.5 kg, another has the weight of 2.8 kg, but the third one is not given. The total cost of sending the 3 parcels is 33.89 pounds. Work out the greatest possible weight of the third parcel. So we can see that 1.5 again is 9.02, and the other parcel is 2.8 kilograms, so that means it goes into a range which is W is greater than 2 but less than equal to 5. So that means we add 15.85, and we don't know what the other value is. But we can find it out since the total is given as 33.89. Now, if we combine these like terms and bring it to the other side, we can find that 9.02 plus 15.85 is just 24.87 plus x is equal to 33.89. We can bring this to the other side. So we have x is equal to 33.89 minus 24.87. And we can use a calculator here to find our answer, which is 33.89 minus 24.87. That gives us 9.02. X is equal to 9.02. So that means that he paid an additional 9.02 pounds for another package, and we can see that 9.02 corresponds to this range. Now, W is either greater than 1 or less than equal to 2. So the maximum here being 2. So the greatest possible weight of the third parcel is 2 kilograms. Question 6. Write 5:15 p.m. using a 24-hour clock. If it's p.m., we simply add 12 to how many hours there are. So 5 plus 12 is 17, and we write the minutes as given. So our time in 24-hour clock is 17:15. Roberta goes out for a walk. She leaves the home at 16:35. She arrives back home at 20:15 on the same day. Work out how much time Roberta is out for her walk. Now, in order to find the difference between the time she comes back home and the time she leaves, we have to convert this to minutes. So 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. So we can see here that 16 hours is simply 16 times 60 minutes plus 35. And here she arrives back home at 20 times 60 plus 15. And we can actually find the difference here. So we have 20 times 60 plus 15. Subtract 16 times 60 plus 35. We can use our calculator here. We have 20 times 60 plus 15. Close the bracket, and we subtract 16 times 60 plus 35. We have 220 minutes, but it's asking us to also give the hours. So we have to find the highest multiple of 60 just before 220, and that is 180 minutes. So we can simply write 3 hours because 180 divided by 60 is 3 hours, but 220 minus 180 is 40 minutes. So we can simply write here 40 minutes. Question 7. Simplify C times C times C times C times C. When multiplying powers, we simply add all the powers that are given. So we have C to the power of 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, or c to the power of 5. Solve 5 plus x is equal to 12. We bring 5 to the other side, and we have x is equal to 12 minus 5. X is equal to 7. Solve y divided by 6 is equal to 3. We multiply both sides by 6 to remove the denominator, and we have y is equal to 3 times 6, or y is equal to 18. Expand 5 into 2 plus 3h. So when multiplying polynomials, we always multiply everything inside the polynomial. So we have 5 times 2, which is 10, and 5 times 3h, which is 15h. So we write here 10 plus 15h. Factorize g squared plus 7g. We have to get the common from both of them, and here I can see that both variables have g. So we can put here g. Now, g squared divided by g is simply g to the power of 2 minus 1, or just g. So we can write here into g plus, and g divided by g is equal to 1. So 1 times 7 is just 7. So we can write here as our final answer, g into g plus 7. Question 8, here is a number machine. Work out the output when the input is 9. So we can simply write here 9. 9 times 5 gives us 45, and we simply subtract 7. So our final value should be 38. Here is a different number machine. When the input is 30, the output is 18. Find a suitable way to complete the number machine. We have to find out what this operation is. We can see that 30 divided by 5 is 6. And 6 into what becomes 18? We know that 6 times 3 is equal to 18. So we can simply put here times 3. The following rule is used to work out the total cost in euros of hiring a cement mixer. So total cost is 8 euros per day plus 5. So James hires a cement mixer for 3 days. Work out the total cost of James for hiring the cement mixer. So it's 8 times the amount of days, which is given as 3, plus 5 euros extra. So 8 times 3 is 24, and we add 5, so that means he pays a total of 29 euros. The cost to Sophia of hiring a cement mixer is 61 euros. For how many days does Sophia have to hire the cement mixer? We don't know, so we can write here 8x plus 5 is equal to 61. We don't know how many days is given, so we actually bring 5 to the other side. We have 8x is equal to 56, and then we divide both sides by 8 to isolate x. So 56 divided by 8 is 7, so she hires him for 7 days. Question 9. There are 120 cyclists in a cycling club. 67 are professional, the rest are amateur. Each of the cyclists were asked to name their favorite type of bike. The two-way table shows some information about their answers, but we have to complete the table. We know that there are 120 cyclists, 67 being professional. So we can use our calculator here to find how many are amateur. So we have 120 minus 67 gives us 53. So we have 53. Here on road bike, 26 were professional. An unknown amount of amateurs also said their favorite was road bike, and the total is 39. We can find the amount of amateurs by subtracting 39 minus 26 is 13. Again, for mountain bike, the amount of professionals is not given, but we can deduce that since there are 54 total votes and 32 were amateur, we can do 54 minus 32 is 22. Now, the total amount of professionals are given as 67. We can then find how many chose hybrid bike. So we can put here 67 minus the people who chose road bike, which were 26, the people who chose mountain bike, which were 22. So we have 19 who said hybrid bike. 19 professionals said hybrid bike. And again, we can do the same thing for the amateurs. We have 53 total amateurs. We can subtract 13 who chose road bike and 32 who chose mountain biking. We have 8 who chose hybrid, 8 who chose hybrid. And finally, for the total, we can see that 26 plus 13 is 39, 22 plus 32 is 54. So we simply add 19 and 8. So we can use a calculator yet again. 19 plus 8 gives us 27. 27. Work out the percentage of cyclists who answered mountain bike. So we can see here that a total of 54 people chose mountain bike as compared to a total of 120. So that's 54 over 120. So we can actually divide this and then multiply by 100 to find our answer. So this is 54 over 120, which is equivalent to 9 over 20, which is also equivalent to 0.45. Now we multiply by 100, and that simply gives us 45%. Jacob is going to draw a pie chart for the age group of the 120 cyclists. There are 41 people in the over 60 age group. Work out the size of the angle for the sector representing the over 60 age group. So we have 41 people who are over 60 over the total, which is 120 as shown before. And to find the angle, we simply have to multiply by 360 because a circle is 360 degrees. So we can use our calculator here one last time. We have 41 divided by 120 times 360, which gives us 123 degrees. We have 123 degrees. Question 10. The frequency table shows information about the number of cookies made by each of the 21 people in a cookery class. Write down the mode of the number of cookies made, so we can see that mode is the most common. So if we can find the highest frequency, which is 7, we can then see the highest amount of cookies made are 11. Now what this means is 11 is simply repeated 7 times. 5, 6, and 7. That's it. Find the median number of cookies made. So we know that there are 21 people. So to find the median, we simply divide it by 2. So we have 21 divided by 2 is equal to 10.5. So we have to round up and look at the 11th person. So we can see here that the first frequency is 10. So 10 is only repeated once. 11 is repeated 7 times. So here I can write here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And finally, we have here 12, which is repeated twice, and we have 13, which is repeated 5 times. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 14 repeated 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have 15 repeated twice. 15 is repeated twice. We simply look at the 11th number. So we can go here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the median number of cookies made is 13. Find the total number of cookies made by the 21 people in the cookery class. So we simply multiply the number of cookies by the frequency. So first off, we have 10 times 1 plus 11 times 7 plus 12 times 2 plus 13 times 5 plus 14 times 4 plus 15 times 2. We can simplify this. 10 times 1 is 10 plus 11 times 7 is 77 plus 12 times 2 is 24. We have 13 times 5, which is 65. We have 14 times 4, which is 56. And we have 15 times 2, which is just 30. So we add 30 here. And we can use our calculator here. We have 10 plus 77 plus 24 plus 65 plus 56 plus 30. And we have a total amount of 262 cookies. 262. Question 11. Work out the value of 4 plus 3 plus 6 to the power of 2 we know that in BidMass, brackets comes first, then indices. So 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. And we square this. 13 squared is 169. 64 is equal to 4 to the power of n. Write down the value of n. So we have to convert 64 to a base of 4. So we can see here that 4 to the power of something is equal to 64. So we can simply look at 4 to the power of 1 is just 4. And 4 to the power of 2 is 16. But 4 to the power of 3 is equal to 64. So we can see here 4 to the power of 3 is equal to 64. And since we have to find n, only write the power. So n is 3. Work out the value of 9.3 plus 2.8 cubed, all square root, divided by 3.2 times 1.2. Write down all the figures on your calculator display. So here we have square root of 9.3 plus 2.8 cubed. And then we divide it by 3.2 times 1.2, which gives us 1.455820007. So we can write this here. We have to write all the figures on the calculator display, which is given to us as 1.455820007. Question 12. Last season, Alicia and Jaya scored goals for their team in the ratio 4:7. Jaya scored 39 more goals than Alicia. Work out the number of goals Alicia scored. So we know that Jaya scored 39 more. And the ratio of Jaya to Alicia is simply 7 minus 4. But we have to find out how many Alicia scored. And since she scored 4, we have to multiply by 4 here. So this gives us 39 divided by 7 minus 4, which is 3, times 4. Or 39 divided by 3 is 13 times 4. And that gives us 52. 52 goals Alicia scored. Question 13. There are 380 students in a sixth form. This is simply a name. The students are either in the upper sixth or the lower sixth. The upper sixth is 20 fewer than the number of students in the lower sixth. 2/5 of the upper sixth study mathematics. 32% of the lower sixth study mathematics. Work out the total number of students in the sixth form who study mathematics. So if we're able to find how many students are in the upper sixth and the lower sixth, we can then find who studies mathematics in both and then combine those. So firstly, let's find out how many students there are. The upper sixth is 20 fewer, so we can write here x minus 20 is the upper sixth, and the lower sixth, so that's simply x, is equal to 380. So we can actually bring negative 20 to the other side, and we have x plus x, which is 2x, is equal to 380 plus 20, so that's 400. Divide both sides by 2, and we have x is equal to 200. Now, we note that the upper sixth is x minus 20. We found x to be 200, so that's 200 minus 20, or 180 students total in the upper sixth, and the lower sixth is simply x, so which is just 200. Note how 200 plus 180 equals 380, which is our total amount of students. Now, we can see here that 2/5 of the upper sixth only study mathematics. So the upper sixth we found to be 180. So 180 times 2 over 5. Now we combine this with the lower sixth who study mathematics plus 200 times 32%. That's 32 over 100. Or we can simply divide by 100 and we get 0.32 times 0.32. And we can use our calculator here to get our answer, which is 180 times 2/5. Close the bracket. We add 200 times 0.32, which gives us 136. 136, which means 136 in total students study mathematics. Question 14. The diagram shows a solid prism. The cross-section of the prism is shown shaded. The volume of the prism is 924 centimeters cubed. Work out the value of x. So we know that the volume of the prism is simply the cross section times the width. And if we can find the cross section here, we can multiply it with the width. The cross section is given to us as two distinct shapes. We have a square here and a square here. We can find out that 6 times 14 is 84. And we have 7.5. This side will also be x. So this is 7.5 times x. So that's 7.5x. Okay. Now if we combine these two, 84 plus 7.5x, and multiply it by the width, which is 8 centimeters times 8, it will give us 924. We can divide both sides by 8 to make life easier. Divide by 8, divide by 8. We can use our calculator here. We have 924 divided by 8 gives us 115.5. So we have equals to 115.5, 84 plus 7.5x. Now we can bring 84 to the other side. So we have 7.5x is equal to 115.5 minus 84. We can find this out. Minus 84 gives us 31.5. So we have 31.5 and 7.5x. We can divide both sides by 7.5, divide by 7.5, and we find out that x is divided by 7.5 gives us 4.2. X is 4.2. Question 15. The diagram shows two parallel lines AB and DEF. BEG is a straight line. Angle DEG is 73 degrees. Angle EBC is 124. Angle ABC is given as W. Work out the value of W. Give reasons for each stage of your working. So first off, we can see that A to B and D to F are parallel. So that means that angle EG is parallel to angle B. So that means that they are congruent. So this is 73 degrees. So we can write here angle EBC is equal to 73 degrees. Therefore, angle B is 73 degrees. Okay. Now that we have angle B and 124, we see that it makes up one whole circle. So we can write here, one circle is equal to 360 degrees. If we subtract 73 and 124, we can then find W. So 360 minus is equal to 73 plus 124 plus W. So we can actually combine 73 and 124. 73 plus 124 gives us 197. So we have 360 is equal to 197 plus W. We can bring this to the other side. So we have W is equal to 360 minus 197. So we can use our calculator again. 360 minus 197 gives us 163. W is equal to 163 degrees. 163 degrees. Question 16 showed that 3 5/7 divided by 1 5/8 equals 2 2/7. We can change this from mixed fractions to improper fractions by multiplying the whole number with the denominator and adding that to the numerator. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 plus 5 is 26. We write the same denominator as 7 divided by 1 times 8 is 8 plus 5. That is 13/8 is equal to 2 2/7. Now, when dividing fractions, we can simply find the reciprocal and multiply instead. So we have 26/7 times 13/8 flipped is 8/13. And this is equal to 2 2/7. We can find the highest common factor of 26 and 13 to simplify this. The highest common factor is 13. So 13 divided by 13 is 1. And 26 divided by 13 is 2. Now we can multiply. 2 times 8 is 16/7 is equal to 2 2/7. We can find the highest multiple of 7 just before 16 to be 14. 14 divided by 7 is 2. So we have 2. And then 16 minus 14 is 2 again, and we divide it by 7 is equal to 2 over 7. Question 17. Change the speed of 90 kilometers per hour to a speed in meters per second. Show you're working clearly. So this is given to us as 90 kilometers per hour. So 1 hour. We know that a kilometer is equivalent to 1,000 meters. So we simply multiply this by 1,000. And 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes, which is then multiplied by 60. So that means 1 hour is equivalent to 3,600 seconds. So times 3,600. So we can see here 90 times 1,000. So that's 1, 2, 3. Divided by 1 times 3,600 is 3,600. These zeros cancel out, and we can use our calculator here. We have 900 divided by 36. This gives us 25. So this is 25 meters per second. Question 18. A list of subsets are given. Complete the Venn diagram for sets E, A, and B. First off, we can see that A intersection B is given as 12, 16, and 20. This means what A and B both have in common. So we can write here 12, 16, 20. Moving on, we can see that A is all even numbers. And using subset E, we can see that 12 is an even number, but it's already given. So we move on. 14 is an even number. 16 is already given. So we move on and we have 18. And 20 is an even number, but it's already given in the diagram. Okay, now that we have this and this, we move on to A union B not is 17 and 19. Union is everything inside A and B, and not simply means everything outside A and B. So that means 17 and 19 go here. So we have 17 and 19. And lastly, subset B is not given, but all we have are 3 integers left. And since they do not go outside, that means they have to be subset B. So we have 11, 13, and 15. Question 19. The diagram shows rectangle ABCD. Work out perimeter of the rectangle. Show you're working clearly. We can see that side AD is equal to side BC. So that means 5x minus 1 is equal to 3x plus 7.4. We can then bring all the like terms to their respective sides. We have 5x minus 3x is equal to 7.4 plus 1. 5x minus 3x is 2x is equal to 8.4. So we divide both sides by 2, divided by 2. That means x is given to us as 4.2. Now we can rewrite this as 5 into 4.2 minus 1. We can use a calculator here. We have 5 into 4.2, then subtract 1 gives us 20 is equal to 20. And since we know that side AD is equal to side BC, we can assume that this is 20 centimeters, this is also 20 centimeters, side AB is equal to DC, so this is also 24 centimeters. So we can simply write this as 20 plus 20 plus 24 plus 24. This simplifies to 40 plus 48, or 88 centimeters. So question 20. The weight of a cake is 2.75 kg. Correct to 2 decimal places. Work out the lower bound of the weight of the cake. So we can see that it is 2.75. However, the lower bound is the lowest possible value it can be, that when rounded up equals 2.75. So we can actually see that it's 2.45. Why? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The lowest possible value to round up is actually 5. So the last value has to be 5. So you have 2.745. Write the upper bound of the weight of the cake. Again, we have to find the lowest value before it can round down. So that'll be 2.7549. And since the last value is 9, we can just round this up. And then we get 2.755. Penny has worked out that 81.3 times 59.2 divided by 1.9 squared on our calculator is 13,332.29917. Penny's answer is not sensible. By rounding each number to one significant figure, work out a suitable estimate showing that her answer is not sensible. Show you're working clearly. So one significant figure of 81.3 is just 80, since the next value is 1. And then we can see here 59.2. The next value is 9, so we round up, so that's 60. Divided by 1.9. 9 is on rounding up, so we simply put here 2 and squared. So 80 times 60 is 4,800. Divided by 2 squared is just 4. And we can see that this is 1,200. The reason they're asking us to do this is because even though we haven't changed the answer much, we can see that 1,200 is very far from 13,000. Therefore, her answer is not sensible. Question 21. The points A and B are on a coordinate grid. The coordinates A are 6, 4, and the coordinates B are 17J, where J is a constant. The midpoint of AB has coordinates K, 15, where K is a constant. Find the value of J and the value of K. So we know that the midpoint is x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So we can see here, firstly, to find J, it is in the y coordinate. So we know that 4 plus J divided by 2 has to equal 15. So we can multiply both sides by 2. And then we have 4 plus J is equal to 30. We can bring 4 to the other side. And we have J is equal to 30 minus 4. Or it is equal to 26. So it is equal to 26. Again, we can do the same thing for the x coordinate. So we have 16 plus 17 divided by 2 is equal to K. We can just calculate this and find out that 6 plus 17 is 23 divided by 2 is equal to K. And 23 divided by 2 is 11.5. So K is equal to 11.5. Question 22. Solve the simultaneous equation. Show clear algebraic working. Now, when dealing with simultaneous equations, I like to use substitution method where we isolate one variable and input it into the other equation. So let's first find out that y is equal to 2x minus 4.4. And now that we have y, we can substitute it into this equation to find x. So we have 5x plus 4y, which we found to be 2x minus 4.4, is equal to negative 2. So we have 5x plus 4 times 2x is 8x, and 4.4 times 4 is 17.6 is equal to negative 2. So we can actually bring this to the other side, and 5x plus 8x is 13x, which this becomes positive 17.6. So subtract 2 will just be 15.6. We divide both sides by 13, divide by 13, and we can find out that x is 15.6 divided by 13 gives us 1.2. X is equal to 1.2. 1.2. And now that we know what x is, we can put it into the original equation. Y is equal to 2 into x, which is 1.2, minus 4.4. That means 2 times 1.2 is 2.4 minus 4.4. These points cancel out, so it's really just 2 minus 4. So y is equal to negative 2. Question 23. Mateo is going to invest 5,000 Swiss francs for 2 years. He can invest his money in Bank G or Bank H. The total amount of interest Mateo would receive at the end of 2 years from Bank G is more than the interest Mateo would receive from the 2 years from Bank H. How much more? So we have to find the difference between the two interests. First, let's find the interest of Bank G. The formula for compound interest is A is equal to P into 1 plus r over 100 to the power of nt. A is the total amount you'll receive. P is the initial amount, so that's 5,000 into 1 plus the interest rate is 1.6 over 100. And N is the number of times he invests per year. This is only once per year, so this is 1 times how many years, which is given as 2. So we can simplify this. A is equal to 5,000 plus 1.6 divided by 100. That gives us 0.016, and then we simply add 1, so that's 1.016 to the power of 1 times 2, so that's 2. This is bank G. Let's just put this as G here. And we can use our calculator here to find our answer, which is 5,000 times 1.016 to the power of 2. This gives us 5161.28, $5161.28. Now we can find how much money he receives from Bank H. 2.9% interest is added after 2 years. So we know that it's added after. So we can simply put 1 plus interest rate, which is 2.9 over 100, times the initial amount, which is 5,000. We can simplify this to 5,000 times 2.9 divided by 100 is 0.029, and we can add 1, so that's 1.029. We can put this into a calculator. This is 5,000 times 1.029, which gives us 5145, which is equivalent to 5145. And now that we have how much money he receives from Bank G and how much money he receives from Bank H, we can simply find the difference as 5161.28 minus 5145. And we can use our calculator here for our final answer. 5161.28 minus 5145 gives us 16.28 Swiss francs. Question 24. Write down the value of m plus 2 to the power of 0, where m is a positive integer. Any positive integer here, no matter how great to the power of 0, will simply equal 1. Simplify 3a squared b to the power of 4 all to the power of 3. So we can simply write this out. Since the power of 3 here is 1, when dealing with brackets, we multiply the powers. So we have 3 to the power of 1 times 3, so that's 3. We have a to the power of 2 times 3, so that's 6. And we have b to the power of 4 times 3, which is 12. 3 cubed is simply 27. And we can write a to the power of 6 and b to the power of 12. Factorize fully. 14x squared times y to the power of 4 plus 21x cubed times y to the power of 2. So we can see that the highest common factor between 14 and 21 is 7. Now to find the highest common factor of x, that means you have to find the lowest power. So x to the power of 2 and x to the power of 3. 2 is lower, so we write x to the power of 2. And between y to the power of 4 and y to the power of 2, 2 is lower, so we write y to the power of 2. And we can simply continue. 14 divided by 7 is 2. X squared divided by x squared is simply 1. So 1 times 2 is still 2, so we don't write that down. Y to the power of 4 divided by y to the power of 2. This simply means y to the power of 4 minus 2. So we simply write here y to the power of 2. Plus 21 divided by 7 is 3. X to the power of 3 divided by x to the power of 2 is 3 minus 1. So that's x to the power of 1. Y to the power of 2 divided by y to the power of 2 is 1. And 1 times x is simply x. So that means our final value is 7x squared y squared times 2y squared plus 3x. The diagram shows a straight line drawn on a grid. Write down the equation of a straight line, which is y is equal to mx plus c. We have to find what m is, or the gradient. We can do this by y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. We can see that y2 is 4 minus y1, which is 0, divided by x2, which is 0, minus x1, which is 2 minus 2. So that gives us 4 divided by negative 2, or it's equal to -2. So now that we have the gradient, we can find by inputting y. Let's choose this value here. The y value here is 0. The gradient we found to be -2. The x value here is 2. And we simply have to find c. So -2 times 2 is 0 is equal to -4 plus c. We can bring this to the other side. And 4 is equal to c. So when writing down the equation of a straight line, we simply leave y and x as is, but we have to put in what m and c are. So we have y is equal to m, which is -2, x, we don't know what it is, and plus c, which we found to be 4. Question 25. The diagram shows an isosceles triangle with a base length of 24 centimeters. That means this side is equal to this side. The perimeter of the triangle is given as 54. Work out the area of the triangle. So we know that the perimeter in total is 54. So 54 is equal to 24 as the base plus 2 of these sides. Let's call this x and this x plus 2x. We can then bring this to the other side. So we have 54 minus 24 is equal to 2x. That means 30 is equal to 2x. We can divide by 2 on both sides. And that means x is 15 centimeters. So that means that this side is 15 centimeters and this side is 15 centimeters. We can also see that this triangle is an isosceles, which means if we draw a line straight down here, perfectly in the middle, this creates a right angle triangle. So dividing the base by 2, that means this side is 12 centimeters, this side is 12 centimeters. If we can find what the height is, we can then find out what the area is. So using a square plus b square is equal to c square, we already have hypotenuse, we already have one of the bases, so we can bring this to the other side, and we have a square is equal to c square minus b square, and we can square root this to find what the height is. So that means height is equal to c square, which is 15 square, minus b square, which is 12 square, square root. And now we can use our calculator here to find out what that is, which is 15 square minus 12 square gives us 9. So the height is 9. Now we know that the area of a triangle is simply 1 over 2 times base times height. And now that we know that the base is 24 and that the height is 9, we can simply find this out. So area is 1 over 2 times base, which is 24, times height, which is 9. 24 divided by 2 is simply 12. So we have 1 times 12 times 9, or 12 times 9. And we can use our calculator here. We have 9 times 12 gives us 108 centimeters squared. Thanks for watching. Cram, then scram.